Welcome ladies and gentlemen to another episode of Majin Starcraft, and today we're gonna bring you a game on Metaloplois between a Zerg and a Protoss. The Protoss is ChiTaPrime, while the Zerg is LiquidHayprO. So this promises to be a great and entertaining match, and a long one at that. Well, at least I hope a long one. I actually know the truth because I see the replay bar, but you guys don't. So it could be short, it could be long. Well, technically you're seeing the time of the video, so yeah. Doesn't work to my joke, does it? I suppose if you actually want to see the result, go ahead and skip forward. But trust me, that's not the way to watch this kind of caliber match. This kind of match is only watchable in its entirety, from beginning to start. Even this Overlord moving out here just seems so epic. So yeah, we have a scouting overload for LiquidHayprO right here, and we also have a pylon at the bottom of the ramp for ChiTaPrime. We'll see what this actually means. ChiTaPrime now using his chrono boost to pump out a few more drones. No gateway as of yet, no scouting drone for LiquidHayprO, so we might see that 16 hatchery. I think that is probably the case. The second overlord is slowly moving out across the map. No, it is not a 16 hatchery, it's a 13 pool. So yeah, we also have ChiTaPrime moving out with his drone here. I'm going to spot the ground, but nothing so far, sadly. But luckily for ChiTaPrime, he actually did go the prime direction. So he is going to find what LiquidHayprO is up to. Meanwhile, we have a scouting drone. We also have a very interesting. So we have a forge. If the drone manages to reach this position in time, and clearly it's actually going to find this position in time, it knows to expect. Yes, there it is, 2 pylons and a 3rd pylon right here. So he is going to a 4th pylon now, cancels it. Gonna go inside the base and gonna probably try and lay down a cannon right here. It all depends on whether or not it has enough time. We'll see. There is another spine crawler, there is a photon cannon, there is another photon cannon, so a photon cannon build. As long as this drone is here to provide vision, it is going to do a lot of things. I wouldn't lay down a pylon here, I would lay down actually a photon cannon and a probe running in here, and it's gonna lay down the photon cannon. And whoa, this is very huge, very important, because all these drones are gonna waste valuable time mining. Gonna chase down the probe, not the best idea. If this photon cannon comes down, laying down another pylon here to provide power, chasing down the probe. This is very important. 2 photon cannons are up, so these photon cannons will be ready to attack. I don't know, why are they attacking? Do they not have vision? No, they actually do not have vision. This thing needs a spawn, and it finally does spawn. Sadly, the spine crawler is attacking the photon cannon. This photon cannon will not last, even though it was being defended. Now using the probe to get a little bit of vision, but these 2 spine crawlers in perfect position for the defense. So very nice play by LiquidHayprO defending this. Now using its 1 spine crawler down, 2 spine crawler. This spine crawler will survive. This cannon is actually trying to do some mineral harass, taking down a few 1 or 2 drones, and now this little bit of roach is gonna have a field day taking out these 2 pylons. So if we look at the units lost tab, we see that ChiTaPrime overcommitted to this build, and now he is in a lot of trouble securing his expansion, but he has no defenses what to speak of, not even a gateway. So once LiquidHayprO is out of this base, he can actually move forward and do some damage. There is 1 photon cannon here. We'll see how this actually affects the late game. Interesting and very nice play from these players, laying down a 2nd photon cannon. Now this drone is gonna scout in here, gonna come in here, see that there's not even a gateway for poor ChiTaPrime. But then again, these players are high level players, so yeah, they're gonna bounce back pretty easily from this build. And whoa, gotta say that was epic play from both these players, finally getting gas down for ChiTaPrime. Meanwhile, the roach warren is up, so more roaches on the way. Let's check out the production tab. Are there more roaches on the way? No. Apparently now LiquidHayprO opting to go for his expansion as well, deciding that he is in the advantage right now, and he is economically and otherwise. Nexus being laid down, a gateway, finally we're gonna have a gateway. There is no second pylon to power these things, which is worrying, because if there's enough force to come in here and take out this pylon, that would be huge. And here come two roaches to try and sneak in and gonna take out the probe. Probably now, are they out of range? Yes, they are out of the range of the photon cannon. Another photon cannon being laid down, and another pylon being laid down here, because they know this pylon is the only thing powering everything. So this pylon will go down pretty soon, because yeah, it's gonna go down. 3, 2, 1 down. That means that this little photon cannon is completely unpowered, laying down another pylon to try and stop the progression of these two roaches. And now we have this photon cannon here for defense. So yeah, LiquidHayprO needs to back out of there. But again, this means a lot of commitment by ChiTaPrime. A lot of resources have gone into all these cannons. And is it? Wait. Is this? No, I thought for a second that the roaches with their extended range could actually attack the gateway. A cybernetics core now being laid down, a very robust wall in right here with a lot of cannons, but this is a lot of resources spent. So meanwhile HayPRO is actually, instead of devoting his resources to an army, he's devoting himself for expanding. He's going on a third base soon. So if we look at the income, if I could actually find the button, where is the button? I'm really pressing pause a lot. I have no idea why. Okay, it's in the dark, so yeah. Income. We have both players about the same type of income, but as you can clearly see, our blue player, our Protoss, is ahead on gas and ahead on harvesters. However, that's all he's got. If we look at the production tab, we finally have a stalker and warp gate technology on the way. So unit size, we only have 2 roaches for the Zerg, so he's actually managed to spend a lot of resources in expanding. So he's at 2 base at the moment, because this base has no drones whatsoever, but a queen is on the way, a couple of drones coming in here to start mining, and soon, and a couple of more drones coming in to stop mining. So soon the economical advantage of the Zerg is going to kick in spades. So there we see, now we have ChiTaPrime on 4 gas. Gas is ahead. However, LiquidHayprO's mineral count will soon hit very high numbers. Meanwhile, inside the base we have a lot of gateways being lowered down, 5 gateways on the way, and those gateways will become warp gate once the technology is up. After all, the Forge is not researching anything. I would recommend would probably be a good idea to get shields at this point, to increase the shields of every single building and make these photon cannons actually last a little bit longer. But hey, we'll see how it goes. Right now, I gotta say, as you can see, the income for the Zerg is skyrocketing. Even the harvester count is going up. No tech buildings yet. We're finally getting a little bit of lair action right here. The hatchery morphing into lair. Metabolic boost for the speedlings, and we have a phoenix. That means there's this Stargate on the way. Are there more Stargates on the way? No, only one. So that phoenix will probably used only for scouting and to try and pick off any stray overlords. But and a robotics facility. That robotics facility might mean Immortals or Colossus against Zerg. I suppose Colossus would be the better choice, because hey, Lings are gonna come out probably. We also have an evolution chamber, so we are gonna have a lot of upgrades on our way. We have Guile reconstruction, blah. I really need to read these things better for our little bit of roaches. So roaches are gonna move faster. Burrow is not yet being researched, so we're not gonna have burrows in. We're gonna probably see an observer from our robotics facility, and there it is, the robotics bay. So there's an observer on the way, of course, to make sure any roaches don't come in here from underground. So we're gonna see Colossus because of the robotics facility. We have another robotics facility on the way. So that means we're gonna see a lot of Colossus. Right now the defenses are looking good because of the cannons, but only 2 stalkers here. But he doesn't actually need to, ChiTaPrime doesn't actually need to worry, because right now if we look at the army size, he is in a little bit of a disadvantage when it comes to when it comes to food count. However, the army size of his opponent is not that big, only 2 roaches and 4 queens. However, 70 harvesters over 60, that's a 10 harvester advantage. So yeah, if we look at the income tab, as you can see, almost 2,000 over 1,500. So LiquidHayprO is in a very nice lead indeed, getting a second hatchery at his third, because I don't think that our Protoss player is aware of the third. However, the creep extension should pretty much tell him that. So now we have a third expansion for ChiTaPrime. That is a lot of sentries. ChiTaPrime is going to secure this. However, it has been spotted by LiquidHayprO. Sadly, he doesn't have any units to try and stop this. So he actually has Hydras. Very interesting, both players. Let's check out that APM for a sec. As you can see, averaging a 177 and 141 right now. LiquidHayprO is at 220, and both of them just spamming controls like crazy. And all you have to know is that both these players are actually using that APM. This Phoenix is going to take out that poor Overlord, but hey, it doesn't count. Zerg can pound units really fast. Spendings, we can see that pretty much both players have spent a lot on economy and technology, very little on army. LiquidHayprO has spent even less on technology because he actually has based a lot more of his build on the economy. As you can see, 3 bases. This base will probably be a main spawning point for his army, and securing a 4th expansion, and I wonder if he'll actually go for the 5th. A 4th base and a 5th base. So this map is slowly being divided down the middle. However, these two are not under the control of either player, so a very good play by Hypro could secure these expansions and give him complete map dominance. These are a lot of roaches, no burrow yet. However, they have rapid regeneration. Good old roaches and good old Zerg. So roaches and hydras could march in here. We do have 3 cannons, but these cannons, and there we have a lot of roaches starting to take out that cannon and gonna pound the cannon really fast. There, 1 cannon goes down, 2 cannons go down, and 3 cannons. Will 3 cannons go down? Yes, 3 cannons go down, and no Zerg losses whatsoever. And now here comes a nice battle. We do have these Colossus to fight off the Hydra, and the Hydra actually fall. The roaches have fallen to these Stalkers, and here comes another Colossus. 1 Colossus actually fell there. So ChiTaPrime actually winning that exchange, and there is a Spire on the way to probably deal with those Colossus. Units lost tab, still favoring LiquidHayprO, but ChiTaPrime made up a lot of ground with that defensive strike. He did lose a couple of cannons, but he did manage to take out the entirety of Liquid's army. As you can see, of Hypro's army right now, he is producing roaches. He has roaches, but he's not producing anything else. He doesn't have even more hydras, 2 more cannons to defend his base. The Spire is still on the way. This base is slowly getting ready, and now these transitioning drones have gotten here a little bit early. As you can see, a little bit of a long distance mine. So now ChiTaPrime is moving out here. So we have Lings and Roaches versus a lot of Stalkers. So mass Stalkers here with only 1 upgrade. Let's see, do these roaches? Yes, roaches have 1 armor and 1 attack, while our Stalkers only have 1 attack. It's gonna come down to micro, I believe. It's gonna come down to when those mutas are gonna get on the map. And now this expansion is probably gonna be under attack, using those force fields to completely separate a couple of roaches, and those roaches fell like dust. And now we're gonna have this expansion. It's gonna fall. I will try to save a few of these drones, and now coming in here with the roaches. However, these roaches are not in the best position. They're inside the Guardian Shield, trying to take out the sentries, However, the main army, the Stalkers are intact. Even these Colossus are intact, and Colossus doing damage, not that much, but still doing their damage. I don't think, do they have extended thermal lance? No idea. Let's check the robotics facility. Yes, they do have extended thermal lance. I couldn't notice they were still in the raid, and now roaches coming in here and taking out the Colossus. This is the Zerg reinforceability in play. So a lot of roaches being lost, but a lot of roaches reinforcing. The Colossus gets taken out. More stalkers here to reinforce. We do have an observer, but now all these stalkers are caught between a rock and a hard place. As you can see, roaches on both sides. A lot of roaches gonna try and focus down this expansion. However, with 1,500 health, that's not gonna happen. Bringing it very close, 88 health, but hey, not gonna happen. Whew, so both these players actually doing great job of playing right now. Great focus, great action all across the map. So we have Psionic Storm. Strange, I wouldn't consider the Storm the best counter to roaches, and these are a lot of roaches. What is the damage? 18. I suppose Immortals would probably be the best way to go right now, playing down a bunch of photon cannons. However, I don't believe that the Forge has done any upgrade. No. Only getting ground weapons level 2 right now, but there is no upgrade when it comes to shields or building armor. So cannons, Meanwhile, our Zerg player securing his high yield, so this is gonna be his 5th expansion, 5th and a half if you call it a high yield. So economically wise, let's check out the income. The income says that the Protoss player is way ahead. The Zerg player is way ahead with over 500 minerals more income, and even his gas. His harvester count is basically the same, but he is on 4 bases, going for his 5th and his 6th. A sneaky 6 right here, because he knows that as long as the Protoss hasn't secured this one, he's not gonna go for this one. So LiquidHayprO is completely dominating the map, despite the fact that he isn't doing so well when it comes to army. So here we have a very nice doom drop of roaches inside the main base. So this is going to be a very, very huge deal when it comes to this, because it's going to take out a lot of these production facilities, and that's going to be very important. Very nice place of pylon, powering these things from the shroud, so nobody actually sees them. And here we have taking out the robotics facility, so no more immortals, however, no more Colossus. However, by this point, ChiTaPrime knows that he should actually go for immortals, and both his robotics facility are gonna fall. More gateways being laid down, but the gateways are gonna fall. Meanwhile, ChiTaPrime is also trying to attack. Stop LiquidHayprO for securing his high yield. ChiTaPrime going for his own high yield. However, this is completely bad because all his production buildings are being taken out. His Nexus is probably gonna fall. We have the Caldarian Amulet and a Dark Shrine. This Dark Shrine is gonna fall, sadly, not gonna ever see the light of day. No Dark Templar gonna be warped in. Sadly, we only have one warp gate here, so this is a huge blow for ChiTaPrime. LiquidHayprO doing a lot of damage here and just taking out everything inside, not doing that much damage to buildings, and agreeable taking quite a while to take him down, but has taken a lot of this base, taken out a lot of gateways, all the robotics facility. Gonna even probably try and take down this Dark Shrine. Took out the Nexus, and that is supply, as you can see right now. ChiTaPrime is supply block. Nexus falling, the Dark Shrine falling. Now the Templar Archives will fall, and if the Twilight Council goes down, even more so. This is a huge economical damage and a huge hit even when it comes to army, because right now ChiTaPrime cannot reinforce his army. He has only one gateway, and two warp gates. He cannot reinforce his army that well, and he actually has to rebuild all those buildings. Meanwhile, these roaches actually managing to stop the high yield for ChiTaPrime. So oh, look at these roaches. Burrow is finally complete. There is no observer. There are no more robotics facilities to bring out any observers, so all these roaches are gonna stay in here and be really annoying. Probably gonna pop out, destroy this, pop back in. So very nice play. Meanwhile, ChiTaPrime is securing an expansion here, while LiquidHayprO has secured this one and going for this one. The high yields, however, are not so far getting attacked, and we have a couple of roaches getting out and another roach is coming out and taking out another warp gate. And now these roaches are probably gonna try and take out this pylon here, and this is incredibly weird because right now LiquidHayprO is controlling ChiTaPrime's spawning location, and this thing will fall. No more minerals to speak of, but again, all the production facilities are gone, and right now ChiTaPrime is actually locked out of his own base because he needs to go around. I don't think, is there a way for him to come in here? No, he is. I think he's completely locked himself out. So he's lost his main base, and now these overlords are carrying all those hero roaches out of here. So ChiTaPrime is in a completely bad position. If we look at the units lost tab, 15,000 resources lost for ChiTaPrime, while LiquidHayprO only has lost 7,000. So this is, and units count, they both have lost similar number of units, but all these resources mean all those buildings. So congratulations to LiquidHayprO for brilliant play, and ChiTaPrime was just simply caught off guard. So now I have no idea. We have, oh my god, I've been focusing so much on that battle, I haven't even noticed this. Broodlords, baby, Broodlords. A very, very annoying unit, just proving again how powerful the Zerg are and how they can actually completely dominate an entire map. We also have an infestation pit, so infestors could come into play. I don't think they will at this point. There's no actual reason for them to come into play. Army size, LiquidHayprO is maxed out at 200, while poor ChiTaPrime is only at 134 food. As you can see, we have one Zealot here trying to take out this hatchery. Not gonna happen in a while. And there is a massive army. Roaches, a few Hydras, but the winning factor will be these Broodlords. They move slow, but they will be able to dominate anything from completely far off, and ChiTaPrime has nothing to deal with them. He has slowly transitioned his base here, as you can see, getting out more gateways, but he has no anti-air, and those Broodlords are just gonna dominate everything. So I'm rooting for ChiTaPrime right now simply because he's the underdog, but in all honesty, I don't know how he's gonna come back from this. A couple of Zealots taking out the base, however, taking out the basin right here. However, I don't think that will matter. Strangely enough, ChiTaPrime has actually better income right now, despite the fact that he's only on 3 base, and here the army is completely being scared back by the Broodlords. There's nothing he can do. His units are just slowly being chased down by those Broodlings, and now here comes an encounter that we all storm being used on the roaches head, but roaches are fairly resistant against storm, but a lot of storms will do the damage, and the more storms, and now these roaches went under the ground, but there is an observer here, so yeah, those roaches go down as well, and that means that a lot of the ground army for LiquidHayprO is lost. I suppose the reason is he got cocky. He simply got cocky and he got dominated, but however, these Broodlords are still his secret weapon. There are very few stalkers here to try and take out the Broodlords, and the Broodlords do have that extreme range when it comes to firing off Broodlings. As you can see, range is 9.5. and the Stalker's range is, well, 6. So these Broodlords can just shoot, fall back, and the Broodlings will do a lot of damage. There we go. Also, Broodlings do a lot of damage to buildings. So here we go. Broodlords versus Stalkers. I think he should actually try and move in, try to run out, because then again, this is a bad position. The Stalkers are in a good position and close enough to deal a lot of damage, reinforcing the units. And this is what it means to be completely... Whoa. Okay, never mind. I wanted to say this is what it means to get cocky, having that advantage, but actually HayPRO has decided he's in such advantage that he's gonna sacrifice those Broodlords and use, Jesus, how many Zerglings units? 114 Zerglings gonna come in here, gonna frame my computer now. These are a lot of Zerglings, and my computer's now on 7 frames per second. See, if I look here, I have 30 frames per second while recording. If I look here, I have 7 frames per second while recording. And luckily, these are Zerglings and not something that actually spam effects. They just, claw their way through. So this is a massive Zergling army. Only 86 now, strangely enough. But gonna do a lot of damage, gonna split the damage of every single unit of the Protoss, and just gonna do terrible economical damage. Gonna take out the Nexus pretty easily, and they're probably gonna try and focus down on many probes. And let's see how many probes right now. LiquidHayprO is in the advantage with 10 probes, and now these Zerglings, which are cheap to make, just completely running in here and gonna try and do some more damage. These are a lot of Zerglings, however, a lot of them have fallen. Production only 38 more Zerglings, and 42 alive, 78, 80 alive. As you can see, the Zerg can completely reinforce everything. However, LiquidHayprO is slowly running out of resources. His main is mined out, his expansion is mined out, his third is mined out, his fourth is doing okay, his fifth is slowly not even saturated, but not he's gonna try and secure his high yield, but the Protoss ChiTaPrime is gonna have nothing of that. So here we have ultras on the map. Right now 8 ultras on the map and gonna start fighting these zealots. However, the zealots do a great thing of keeping everything away from the stalkers, and the stalkers can just shoot. We also have immortals here. The Zerglings are gonna try and deal with the immortals, but I don't know if that's gonna happen because the zealots are keeping the Zerglings at bay. So the stalkers are now not even focus firing. So let's check out. We have 2 weapon damage, 4 ground units, and 1 armor, while these ultras only have 5 armor, and 1 attack. So strangely enough, right now when it comes to army size, ChiTaPrime is doing what he should do. He's slowly attacking here, he's slowly pushing out, and he's doing a lot of damage. We have immortals to fight off the Ultralisk because hey, they absorbed a lot of damage, and a couple of storms being used on the Zerglings, and now 1 immortal actually falls and another immortal is gonna fall soon. And slowly this army, what are the APM right now? After getting very little APM, they're not even focusing on the fight, I suppose, because a couple of focus fire shots could do a lot of damage here. More zealots coming in here. Let's not lose the APM. Blink is being researched to try and give these stalkers a little bit more maneuverability. So ChiTaPrime and LiquidHayprO are doing a very nice game, but I suppose LiquidHayprO just simply got cocky here, and right now both players, in my opinion, are dead even. If we look at the units lost tab, as you can see that a huge advantage that LiquidHayprO has gotten, over 10,000 resources has now been reduced to 5,000. So slowly but surely ChiTaPrime is making up ground, and right now he is forced to retreat. Does he have any resources banked? No, but he is bringing in reinforcements, a couple of zealots and a couple of High Templar, while these ultras continue down to chase down these High Templar, and that's it. Now ultras are gonna back off. If we look at the production tab, Archons are on the way, a couple of more ultras, another hatchery at the high yield, and the income tab says that ChiTaPrime is now falling behind because he is only on 2 base, and 3rd base is going to go down soon, but still no high yield. This will be the decisive factor, and whoa, those are a lot of ultras. How many? 3? Much easier to say, much easier to look at the units tab. There we go. 16 ultras. Much easier. Hey, look, I selected a building. So 16 ultras gonna march all across the map, probably gonna try and take this expansion out. We have idle probes here, sadly, but no, these ultras are actually gonna try and push their way inside the base. A couple of storms being used, but storms against ultras, come on. 5 armor on them and 1 attack. Gonna march inside the base and using the natural cleave. Actually, I don't know, do they even have cleave anymore? Ultras have been modified so much the past in the past that I don't even know. But here they're coming in. No, apparently they don't have cleave, so doing a lot of damage. These ultras being used to stop ChiTaPrime from coming in here, while these ultras take out a lot of those harvesters. And if we look at, and if I would stop pressing the pause button, and if we look at the stupid income button. Slowly those harvesters have gone down to 58. These ultras holding the line brilliantly against ChiTaPrime's army, while while these 4 completely take down another source of income. Meanwhile, we can see that this base is completely mined out, so right now ChiTaPrime is only at 1 base, while LiquidHayprO is at 1 base, 2 base, 3 base, and this base is a high yield. So now these ultras are probably gonna fall. There's no way for them to run. Here comes a couple of overlords to try and bring them out. It's all gonna come down to microing and running away. So we're gonna see if they can manage to save. They do have a lot of health, so they can take out a lot of damage. However, bringing them inside these overlords is a bad thing, because if the overlords die, so do the ultras. But actually managing to save 2 ultras there, so a pretty good maneuver after all. A Twilight Council over here, so it's very hard to say. Right now, poor ChiTaPrime is backed into a corner. He only has 48 harvesters. As you can see, his income is in the dirt. Meanwhile, the high yield has completely kicked in for our Zerg player. So we have Zerglings and Ultras and a couple of Roaches. And an Overseer for no apparent reason, probably to spot any observers. A couple of transitioning drones probably gonna go to the high yield, and a lot of spine crawlers being laid down. Hey, why not? At this point, he's banking resources. LiquidHayprO has 3,000 minerals, 4,000 gas banked. He is at 192 food, while ChiTaPrime is only at 1.8 food and not banking anything, so he needs to do something now. Oh, I'm gonna drop one of those overlords, using a storm on the Lings, using another storm on the Lings, but missing that one. And this is gonna be the decisive factor, the decisive battle, I think. But there's no way ChiTaPrime can pull this off. These are just too many Ultras, a lot of Roaches, and Storm is just not good against Roaches and Ultras. The Lings died, but hey. And warping in another High Templar, another Storm. However, everything is only at half health. Storm not doing that much damage. Morphing in a couple of Archons, and here comes the Archon damage, but the damage completely gets destroyed when the Ultras hit their hits. So HayPRO is now in the most commanding lead and the best position I could think of in this type of game, laying down another Storm. These are, oh, and a Roach blew up. I caught a Roach blowing up. And the Ultras are on the ground, staying here and laying down another Storm and slowly doing damage. Will this Ultra fall? If another Storm gets laid down, and another Storm does not get laid down, so this Ultra manages to survive with 18 health, 2 attack right now. So HayPRO is just a commanding lead, securing his 3rd attack very soon, so those Ultras will be even more powerful. More Ultras on the way, and just completely dominating, completely entering inside the base, and Archons are not gonna do this. I suppose what should have been done at one point was go Void Rage. Void Rage would have dominated the ground army because the ground army would have been completely stuck. And another Archon on the way, and right now, if we look at the army size, 59 food for ChiTaPrime, there's nothing he can do at this point, just completely nothing, securing a 2nd high yield for LiquidHayprO. Unit size, we only have 1 Phoenix, 1 Archon, 2 Observers, 1 Phoenix. The only attacking unit is a Phoenix, and it can't do anything because the Graviton Beam will only pick up. There is this High Templar that was warped in, and using Storm to take out quite a few. How many kills? 5 units already. Great for him. And here comes the fully maxed out army for LiquidHayprO again. Infestors here, probably gonna use that fungal growth for no real reason, or even pump out Infested Terrans. So, what I think that got ChiTaPrime in this game was his complete dedication to the Forge attack at the beginning, to the Photon Cannon, which failed miserably, sadly, and then you losing a lot of resources on that. So ChiTaPrime losing here, it was a good game, but sadly he overcommitted at the beginning with those Photon Cannons, and LiquidHayprO's complete advantage at that point slowly allowed him to do more damage, and even at the end of the game play completely cocky. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next episode.